Thing I have to go. Grand Rising, everyone. We are live here in the house. I think we have almost everyone in the nation here except for Queen Angie. But we're going to get this started. We're going to be talking about the AI videos. Well, I can't say AI, allegedly. Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister, Israel put it out. I mean, Iran put it out that they unalived him in the bombs, but we'll see.
Greetings, Earthlings.
Warning, the following program contains strong Black First opinions about mature and strong subject matter that affects Black America and the diaspora as a whole. Listen at your own risk, you sissy.
Grand Rising all. You are listening to the one and only Be One or None. Good morning from Africatown, Los Angeles.
Yes, and we are in the house. We are talking about Benjamin Netanyahu, who is the Israel's prime minister. You know, the one that they say has his hand up Trump's behind. Well, has his whole hand up America's ass because they say that our people are out here fighting wars for Israel, and this is not anything that has to do with America, except for they're trying to say Iran has weapons of mass destruction. We've heard that before. And so there is a lot of videos going on after he was being told that, after it was announced that he actually was unalive, they started putting out videos that was just weird to prove he was alive. So the first video they put out, I have to find it, but the first video he was doing his speech and he had 6 fingers. And when he was doing his speech, they showed 6 fingers. And then when everybody was like, wait a minute, maybe he is dead because his fingers, then they started putting out all these weird videos that you can just kind of tell was like weirdly AI. Have y'all seen?
Definitely. I saw the coffee one the other day, and it's definitely AI.
Let me see if I can pull up some of them. Yeah, it's crazy because the coffee, I'm going to see if I can pull up the coffee shop, because the coffee, what happened with that? He's drinking coffee. The coffee isn't moving, and
it's filled to the rim, and it's hot. It's hot,
and then he takes a big gulp, and then someone said, like, when he get ready to put his hand in his pocket, the pocket is bulged out. You know, all the typical AI stuff. And that's why you see, did I upload the pictures? Hold on. I
didn't look at any of the videos. That coffee one, the face doesn't look like him, so I didn't even bother.
No, he looked all yellow and young. I switched videos, so I don't even think I uploaded the video of his. But if you look at the thumbnail, I had the clips with the uploaded clips with his hand, and I wanted you to pay attention to his cup in his hand, because his finger looked like a web duck finger. It's all spread it apart, holding the cup.
God damn it!
Yeah, like, and then his fingers look all big. And then in one video, let me see if I can share it. He's outside, and they're just like this.
So what's supposed to happen? Iran supposed to have did a strike and he got killed in the strike?
Yes, Iran claims that they did a strike and he was unalived in the strike, and that was weeks ago. And they said he didn't show up for one of the meetings. He did, like, nobody is seeing him in person, and then all these videos are being released.
Sound like Epstein files.
Yeah. Can y'all see that?
You see it? Yeah, we see it.
Okay, hold on.
Allah has brought him down.
Okay. Now look at the coffee. The rim, it doesn't move. It doesn't. Look at all that. Now watch. He wants to show his hand. Now look at how his hand is, his fingers are spread apart.
Wow.
And then he's talking, and then the guy in the background, he moves, but he's just sitting there frozen. Can you see that?
I'm liking the music, I'll tell you.
His fingers is not even holding that cup like a human.
Exactly.
Wow.
AI all day, man. Deep fake.
And they do the flash. And this video came out after the first video of the 6 fingers. But look at the coffee. It never spills. He's moving his coffee around. He dropped that coffee.
Hey, what?
That spilled to the
Now
rim.
look, watch it. The coffee is all moving. And then when he drinks, you just made this coffee and he's taking big cups of hot ass coffee or cappuccino. And he wants to show that his fingers is not 6, but that big gap in the finger, I believe, because they edit the 6 fingers. That's why that big gap is
Boy, they got it. They playing goddamn John Carpenter's Escape from New York soundtrack.
there. Yeah. I had to
I'm
find
liking the
that
music, I'll tell you.
But if you look at it, yeah, that was his finger, and it was just weird because. And then they want to play this one. This is where I'm gonna share another one.
Smoke and mirrors, y'all.
Yes, because that's why I believe that big gap was there in his finger. Because usually AI has 6 fingers. They're just AI. There's ways to look at AI and realize, hey, something is not right about this. But what they're doing is they're putting out all these videos, and then they're trying so hard because they focus in on the hands. Ever since the 6 finger video came out, he's holding up his hands everywhere. Just go stand in public where people can see you if you're alive.
Right. Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna play this one. This one came out after the cup video to prove he was alive. Uh-oh. And this is the one when he's talking. Let me see. I ain't even play it, but see, they're gonna play it again. He had a ring on his finger. He always wears his ring. So when he reaches his hand up, and the girl, let me see if I can pause this. Well, I can't. Yes, I can. The girl in the background, I want y'all to look at a few things, not just his hand where the ring is supposed to be, but the girl in the background looks like she got multiple fingers and they're different colors. You see that?
Wait.
The girl sitting in the chair. That's why. Now watch the girl sitting in the chair. Look at her hands first. Look at all those fingers. And her hands is different colors. Her fingers is different colors.
Wow.
Now watch
Great
him.
Allah. Great Scott.
And then when Netanyahu, when he puts his hand up, he has a ring. Now watch, there's the ring. Now when he lifts his hand, the ring disappears. See?
Yeah.
And I was looking for the
please.
he walks up. And these are the videos they put out to prove he's alive. So y'all doing a shitty job. And a lot of people on TikTok are like, hey, are we just, do they think we're that dumb? And all of this is to prove that Iran did not unalive this man.
Wow.
And then there's another
Allah,
video
definitely
that
pleased.
he's sitting in the control room and he's talking, but people are saying that's an old clip and they're using old videos and putting his mouth in it. Videos where he's sitting in the control room because the people sitting around him looks weird, So what do y'all think about this war and everything that's going on? Do you think that they messed up and he kind of got unalived? It's kind of like
It's looking like it's definitely not peace be upon him.
Yes. So hold on. I'm gonna see if.
But I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't think we could rule it out as a strategy because I don't know. Who knows? I mean, they could have got him, but it could be a strategy for either side. It could be propaganda for either side to amp their soldiers up.
I don't think it's propaganda. I mean, my thing is, if you are the leader, you don't want to seem like, it would be messed up if Iran actually got rid of Netanyahu. And so I seen another video where they said someone had took his place. So I'm getting ready to play this video right here. And they're saying that this is AI too. But my thing is, why just not, if you're alive, why not just show that you're alive? Why all the why all these weird videos where it's just a limited amount of people where they can control the video, because AI can't do a lot of stuff.
I mean, maybe it's time to get some of these Democrats and Republicans on the phone to see if their paychecks are coming in next month. That's how we'll know for sure.
Exactly. Now, these are some things that people saying. They're saying this encounter is weird too. Hold on. They're saying, I don't know if it's going to show the whole handshake, because people would like look at their hands, and people are analyzing the videos.
Sir, I wanted you to know the president asked me to come to make sure you were okay.
Now they said, look at the guy's forehead. It completely changed. Like laughing makes you just kind of get a sharp, smooth, non-wrinkled head. You usually laugh with your cheeks, not with your, you laugh with his whole head, and you can see that whole clear. Get the guy in the background.
That's spooky.
And look at the guy's hand against the wall. I'm there with other people, but I'm pointing out stuff myself.
Sir, I wanted you to know the president
guy
asked
against
me
the wall. That makes no sense.
to make sure you were okay.
Look at his hands against the wall. So there's a lot of videos, but so either which way, these videos are going out. Y'all can go look them up. There's I'll look for some more, but there's lots of videos. So why wouldn't America want to tell the truth if Mr. Netanyahu
It'll mess up it'll destroy the whole thing, the whole system. The party will be over. You know what I'm saying? Because they got so much invested in Israel and stuff. And like I said, it's a book I was reading. I remember that book. That's the Great Reset, but they was just talking about how they pretty much created the whole Israel is a creation of America, pretty much. It's like America over in the Middle East, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they let them do all. They supply them with all kind of military stuff that's in bombs and all that. They do America dirty work over there, but now they don't just got as powerful as America. So I think they pretty much tell America what to do now. So yeah, they like family.
And it could be a trick, because we're talking about arguably the two most powerful countries on the planet with the most advanced technology. I mean, you can unalive Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and have it covered up for not hundreds, but all this time, but you can't put together an expert level AI video. Like you couldn't get this video done by experts, because if they really, really wanted it to look like he was alive, if there was any two countries capable, the small hats in America would be able to do it flawlessly.
But that's what they're doing. The thing is, AI can only do so much. And if you look at Dane Calloway's video, everybody was putting it in. Nope, they just, like a lot of people are saying, they think that these leaders think that the normal person is just as dumb as we were 20 years ago. They didn't expect us to point out so many small details, because AI.
I mean, because like If it was the guy that they got in Venezuela, say he got taken down, then I would say probably be thoroughly convinced that yeah, they just did a little bang up job. But we're talking about the people that control the CGI effects in Hollywood. Like they wouldn't reach out to the Jooby Dooby Doos over here and have this thing like flawless.
But that's what they're doing. And then when they messed up, this is not the only video. They put out many videos, but people are pulling it out. They're sitting him in with maybe 4 or 5 people. And the reason why they had to do it so quick, because this is Israel. I don't know if you paid attention, but the man that went to go shake his hand with the forehead, he said in that original video, President Trump sent him to go see him in person to make sure he's alive. So basically, they're saying Israel, not America, not everybody. Israel is hiding the fact that Netanyahu might not be with us anymore. You get what I'm saying? So this is Israel putting out these videos.
And the thing is,
yes.
What would happen if it is true? Like
Yes,
they're upset the order.
Because look at it like they do us. They're trying too damn hard when it can be easily. President Trump could have flew over there and stood next to him. Somebody could have did more. Why is it these long videos with him by himself with weird people?
Oh Allah. I mean, first Yasmin Crockett takes a tumble. Now this is too much. This is too much in such a short.
Rome is falling. That's what it's called.
Yep. Hashtag let Rome fall. It's falling, boy. He might be chilling with Epstein on the out. He might be chilling with Epstein though. Well, we know Epstein ain't dead.
Who done dropped out?
I don't know who that is. I forgot.
I mean, I wouldn't put it above them to do this because, I mean, when it looks like we in a time of power grabs, and like when you look at certain leaders like that are in the BRICS alliance, like Traore, he has people inside trying to bring him down. So for all we know, it could have been an inside job because, you know what, let's get this guy out the way. I don't care who we got to work with. I mean, because obviously things are shifting around across the globe, and people will do anything for power. So it could have been, for all we know, it could be an inside job. I mean, because how would Iran know how would they know where to hit at?
They knew where is it because like you say, they have spies and stuff too. They're not trying to be funny. The Iran people and the Israel people, no matter what, they all look the same. Let's be honest. And until they
Allah will not like such a statement.
And then look at the things that Trump said. America is becoming anti-Semitic and all the stuff that's been leading up. So Iran said that this time they're not letting up. They're not getting or they're not doing a treaty with America. America is going to learn this time because every treaty that America has, like even with black people, they have broken it. And white people are the main characters of the spirit of illusion. But they did not count on people pointing out these little things in these AI videos. They just want us to be blindly allegiant to Israel and move on. But if you got Iran is taking on America. And
I mean, and of course they would, because with BRICS right now, they kind of with the BRICS situation going on, it's kind of America's hands are kind of tied right now. So if there were ever a time you go, you know what, we're not going to take this from Mighty Whitey in America because they have to deal with BRICS. Exactly. So it's kind of like we're in a Cold War situation again. So you kind of can stick your chest out at America right now. Mm-hmm. Because Iran can flip the switch and go, you know what, we're going to go join the BRICS alliance. Screw Trump. And then what are we going to do?
Exactly. And think about it. They just think about it. America wants to look powerful. That's why you line up everywhere. But there's a lot of people against America. So it's easy to have a snitch, as you say, or intel that tell where he was, because remember that they said Russia wasn't stopped going after Ukraine and started going after the big bank. So Russia was focusing on fighting the European NATO.
I mean,
Iran.
even when you look at Trump's movements, Macron, the president of France, when they began the African Revolution under the BRICS banner, he requested assistance from America, and Trump basically gave him the middle finger. He stood him up. So it's a lot of power grabbing going on right now. So the players are shuffling.
Exactly. And not just that. I forgot who they said Russia is changed their basically these small countries that they have us looking small are changing the way they fight.
Yeah.
And China is basically ridiculing America for the Iran war. Russia is, and all these people are getting on board with Iran because they're tired of the white bully, just like black people in America is tired of the white West bullies. They set up shop in other people's countries, and these are the same people with different titles, different religions.
So you think
Judaism is a religion?
You think they're trying to break up the BRICS? I know Pablo saying something about that. Like I think they're trying to. I think they're trying to disrupt the BRICS thing. I don't know why people are against that. Like even some Black Americans out here, like
the only people against it is the West. And
Yeah,
you've seen where Iran didn't let anybody come through the strait? Where's the straight? But they just let a boat come through with oil that was paid for in Chinese yuan.
Damn.
Do you guys think that maybe Trump and Netanyahu might have screwed themselves by not backing France early on against BRICS?
Pablo, what'd you call him, Pablo?
Netanyahu.
God damn it.
I mean, do you guys think that possibly they screwed themselves by not backing France when the BRICS and the African Revolution first started off by not backing France and maybe curbing some of this?
Why would you back something that's going to bankrupt you? Because America's dollar is not backed by nothing. They effed over Russia with the Fort Knox when they took everybody's gold, and then they never gave it back because they spent it. You messed over Africa with all their cobalt and all their resources. You messed over Black people here in America, FBAs, with all our inventions and all our Black people were not in the position that they were in up until the 1970s when we built, after being after being redlined, after being messed up with the fake seeds and stuff, we built empires. They burned down everything. So people are tired. They've been messed themselves over. So how can you back BRICS when you have nothing to back but slavery? They let immigrants in to get money. They're making money because they put us out of ways that we can build our own businesses. And that's why immigrants are filling our communities, the hair stores, the gas stations, the hotels. If we had that American money, they wouldn't have money to have power in other people's countries. So
and France is not and never was a part of the BRICS alliance, is it?
No, because France was being financed by Africa with them paying these slave wages, almost 500 billion or a year. And remember, that's when Abraham Traoré came in, and you cut it. You basically, they cut off paying them, and then they cut France off from being the middleman. Like Abraham said, I don't need you to middleman my gold, and you're making billions and giving us millions. It's a shift in the atmosphere.
Did it drop out for? It dropped out for me. Did it drop out for everybody?
I can hear you. Can y'all hear me?
You're clear.
Yeah, you good. You good.
Oh yeah, it went blank.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe they didn't count on. I think maybe they didn't count on Ibrahim Traoré leading that African Revolution the way he did when those 6 African countries got on board, because before he did that, all they had to do was go to the coons that they had in power, that they had propped up in power to shut that kind of stuff down. And I saw that the president that Traoré overthrew, he personally has been behind some of the assassination attempts on Traoré on behalf of France. So I knew when France got cut out of the picture, it was only a matter of time before that was going to land in Trump's lap, and then he was going to have to start doing some things. So now they're saying that even Trump has this whole thing about the Christian thing in Nigeria is kind of their way to go, okay, we need to get somebody over there before this affects us.
I've been told you that. Like, when did they ever care about black people in Africa, especially being Christians? What it is, which I have to understand, these are old white men. These are old white men who've been running the world for a long time, and what they have done is be old. Their ways of thinking is old. The people that they have been controlling is not old. The ways that you used to can get over us is not old. We're not the dumb slaves that you kept from reading. The only way they could get past anything is to keep us from technology, but you can't. So just like Facebook was meant and TikTok was meant to go against us, but TikTok helped spread knowledge. Facebook did not work the way they thought. Facebook made black people millionaires and spread black history. TikTok did more than that by spreading ways for us to start communicating with each other across the globe, telling our own stories. This is
I have noticed that since they so when BRICS first started taking off, and it was clear, I think this was around I think about the 11th attempt to assassinate Traore. So I noticed online they started to try to amp up the diaspora war. I mean, it was going to be what it was going to be, but it was going to another level. And I started to notice that a lot of those accounts had a white face behind them. But so then I said, let me start looking into this. So then when I look at it, I started to see around the globe, all the Latin countries, everybody saying, hey, I'm an Afro-Latino, I'm a Black Latino, I'm Black. Everybody's claiming their Blackness now. And then I saw NSM 46. This is the absolute last thing they wanted, was for us to start to recognize that. And it's like, the Black Americans and the Black British have been leading the charge on a lot of the stuff as far as standing on our Blackness. And now I'm starting to see the emboldenment in the Latin countries where I go, you know what? I'm a Black. In the Dominican Republic is going on right now. I'm DR and I'm Black. I'm standing on my Black roots, and they starting to stand up on it. And they're like, okay, we're gonna have to get these Negroes stopped somehow.
Yes, and just like with the term FBA, just like you said, the Dominicans, they are standing on their Blackness. And that's why it should be no problem with us over in America standing on our Blackness with FBA. We're in different places, but we're teaching people how to fight back. We're teaching.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is manufactured by the opposition, because I noticed like some of the stats, like in Africa, they're in the African continent, they're saying the majority of the people are younger because for whatever the reason, they don't have a elderly population that's pretty significant anymore. So it's a lot of the people are younger. Same in the Latino countries, and so in their mind, hey, we can bamboozle them, we can get them away from them American Negroes. Because I don't think, I mean, outside of the internet, have any of us really ever come across anybody that's against Black Americans doing what we do?
No, it's all manufactured. Because the whole point, like before the immigrants came in, they had to separate us. This is why we were the only people on earth not allowed to speak our native tongue. And then they turn around, well, are you native? What's your language? Do you not remember our history? You see what I'm saying? We're fighting now with the only thing you're hearing people in everyday fighting is whether we were already here or whether we came from Africa. Well, how come, if that's the case, then how come Africans weren't taught to not speak their native tongue? You can't tell me to speak my native tongue if you stop me from reading and put balls with razor blades in my mouth to stop.
Hello. I mean, it was punishable by death. I mean, come on.
Thank you. It was. We are the only people on earth. So, and we're the only people on earth that the world mimics. And so, when we're tired, of course, after a while, the world gets tired, and those like BRICS got tired. People are tired, and Iran is tired because America, like you say, Israel is just another face of America.
You know, and it was interesting. It was interesting that. Remember when Israel was going against Palestine? They had that war going on, and all of a sudden, the black Palestinians started to go, you know what? They're calling us slaves. They started standing on their Black roots, and it's like everybody's. It's like they're following the lead of what we're doing here. Everybody's like, you know what? We're gonna stand on ours because we need to unify because everybody's starting to see what's going on.
And the thing about it, what people don't understand, that with Iran, that's in Gaza. The Palestinians, most of them is what you call the tribe of Judah. Most of those people are lost in between both of these wars, and they're black. Nobody is talking about that. They like they always do. They show the fair-skinned people. Oh, they're killing the Jews there, but they're not acknowledging the black-skinned Jews. You're not look at over here. Let a black person say they're a Jew. What happens?
Of course, they ain't gonna never admit that.
Thank you. So the whole point is that, like I've been telling y'all, Rome is falling. America has nothing to back their dollars with. Abraham Toure has taken the gold that France was swindling out of Africa and pushing through us. See, when America said that they were going to back the dollar by gold, where the hell you're getting that gold from?
Theft.
You want to get in, and now Abraham Toure, who's putting up the assassinations of this man?
From what I hear is France and America.
Thank you. Because that's who the white people are that runs the West. These are the same people who made us prisoners of war, aka slaves. This is they didn't have all this stuff in their countries. There was nothing to go to France to look at. There was no.
This is the crazy part. So remember online when we start seeing all these white and AI looking profiles trying to amp up diaspora wars. So remember when they tried to flip the story about why Traore ended the program for us to come over there and to stop having students exchanges and this and that. It was basically because the assassination attempts, but they tried to flip the story as if he was trying to shut us off from having communication with him. And I was like, yeah, they're really trying to put this man, they're trying to put him in the cutout box because he's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. It's dangerous to the West. It's dangerous to white people. Why did Europe before 9/11 didn't need passports to come in and out? Because a white person coming from Europe looked like the white people that ruled America. The only people who needed any passports were black people. There was no such thing as needing an ID to travel. All of this plays in America because America has everybody that's ruling America that's not here. How come we have AIPAC, AIPAC? That is the other sub-government.
And I forgot, remember I put it in the group chat, I forgot what her name was. She was a black woman and she was a Democrat, that she has received the most money in history from AIPAC. And exactly. she was a black Democrat. And I was like, why is that?
Exactly. Because you remember that when we put in a chat, it was a video somewhere where they was showing that the people were sitting around wondering how can they get black people to support. Everything is based around us. Black people need to vote. Black people need to support Israel. Why? I asked the question like they tell us. Come on, y'all. They will not give us reparations, but we're paying billions to Israel because of what happened in Germany. Does that make any damn sense? And
something that didn't even happen on American soil. We paying for it.
Yeah, they'll say none of us owned the slave. Well, none of us helped Hitler with the Holocaust. So why the fuck am I paying any reparations?
And then I know y'all saw the one here where Mayor Karen Bass, without the B in her name, goes out and does reparations for Japanese people, like right in front of us. I mean, and this is what they do. And I bet you AIPAC had a lot of funding in that situation there.
And let's talk about Biden with the Asian protection.
Yeah, and now the girl Jasmine Crockett came out too because she said she wasn't getting funded by AIPAC, but I don't believe that. AIPAC's pretty much fund everybody in the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? Of course she's gonna say
now if AIPAC funded the other black woman that was a Democrat, you know darn well Jasmine Crockett is lying.
Exactly.
Jasmine Crockett got done in by her own Hispanic people she was crying for. We're saying that there's a difference between legal and illegal. The legal immigrants did not want the illegal immigrants here, but she's out there playing this democratic role and telling us how the immigrants is this and that and all this other stuff. And they turned around and all these Hispanic people voted for another man that nobody even knew was running. He had none of the credentials that Jasmine Crockett has, but somehow they turn around and they're blaming black men for not voting for Jasmine Crockett because the black men don't want to see a black woman in power. It's all
Now,
propaganda.
now I'm
and
sure she
bullshit.
knows. I'm sure Jasmine knows the meaning of the word Mayate now.
Yes.
And then your girl Gabrielle Union, we ain't gonna be that.
Yes.
They're gonna be another one. We're gonna
She's
do
talking
a
about
whole
weak
show on
didn't
that.
vote for Kamala. Kamala
Yeah.
got in office, said she was Asian. Her and Biden passed the Asian hate bill. Why black people are being unalived, pew-pewed in their back by white cops. Every time there's a white cop on black unaliving, it's always a white cop in a uniform. So all of this plays. These are the same people who are playing in our face with Netanyahu and Israel, because they have to have faces of power, because you don't want to make it look like Israel is strong. See, if you picture Israel, you think of this little place with these people, and they're trying to get weapons, and America is going to wipe them out and this and that. But Iran. I'm sorry, Iran and America. America and Israel is going to wipe out Iran when you think of Iran. But Iran has shown how they are powerful, and to admit that little old Iran unalive Benjamin Netanyahu, they don't want that. Because when it comes down to white men, they have to write history. They have to look like the conqueror. They have to look strong, because their enemy always has to look weak. If you don't know, that's what they've been doing to black people. That's what they did to Africa. It's always like that. Either they have to save, or they have to make you look weak, or make you look like a criminal in order to push their propaganda. But I believe the man is not here. I'm just waiting to see what they're going to do about it, because I don't see anything that is going, because they can't say that he's a dead, because if he's gone, I mean, you checkmate, right? You killed the king.
I mean, and I think it will cause you to have to look back to the Obama administration, and you would just have to wonder how much money did Israel put on the assassination of Gaddafi, because that was the original BRICS type of alliance before we got to this BRICS thing we have now.
Exactly.
And he was going to unify all the African states under that dollar, that gold-backed coin coming from Libya. And they said, oh, no, we can't have that. So that Israel stuffed some money in Obama's pocket, and they conspired on that.
And then you look at
Of course.
what was the Venezuela president that they got? They always, how this is the difference. When they unalived these presidents or took him into captivity, they was like, oh, they're cheering, they're happy. They don't want to admit Benjamin Netanyahu might not be with us, because they might have pictures of people cheering in the street. You never know. Because do you think that the Israelis are running around happy that their children are being unalived? Like Iran said, that is more to come. What do y'all think?
I mean, I think this with the small hats, just like the guy before him, who was the guy before Netanyahu? I think these gentlemen
Netanyahu's been here for a long time.
Yeah, I
man.
don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think
I don't
back when
remember.
when they were dealing with Yasser Arafat and all this hoopla from back then, I think that
Oh yeah, I forgot about
the person in the Netanyahu seat is always just like a figurehead or a face of the people behind them that are actually calling all the shots. He's just like a spokesperson for the people that are actually pulling the strings. So it's like, so taking him down, I mean, that's probably the difference in Israeli and Arab, the way they handle their internal thing. I don't think taking down Netanyahu per se is going to stop Israel's plans, because I'm pretty sure that if Netanyahu is out of the picture, he's only a spokesperson for those who are really calling the shots. Just like when they assassinated Jesus.
It's America that's really calling the shots. That's the thing.
Exactly. When they assassinated Jesus, it wasn't the high priest wasn't the one calling the shots. The organization known as the Sanhedrin was the one calling the shots, not the high priest or Pontius Pilate himself. They were the ones behind the scenes calling the shots. Just the high priest was a spokesperson, and I don't think they've changed that tactic.
No, they haven't. They have not. They haven't changed their tactic, and I believe that things are going to be different because like I said, there is going to be different with Iran. If Iran did take them out, that means that what we're saying. Remember one time Oprah Winfrey said it, old rich men need to die out. Netanyahu was gone. We don't know who. Then these old men in America. That's why they wanted Charlie Kirk. That's why they want to raise up the next generation of white young men that think like them, but they're not being successful. Their grip on the world is loosening. A claw has broken. A finger, it's like an eagle with a claw. How many claws does an eagle have? 4. Their grip is being broken away from the world. People are not looking at America the same. Right now, people are just coming to America for the money, not because they feel like America is the land of the free. Everybody is coming back to America to gather their goods to take back to their homelands. And if we in America as FBA and the rest of us don't do anything, when they finish stripping America bare, we are going to be here to get the skeletons that's left to build our own homeland. That's why it's important
that's exactly
to identify who we are, because
that's exactly why they don't want us unifying with other places that we can get. Like the worst thing they would want is FBA and somebody like Traore being on good terms, because they know that breaks the need for the white man right there. We won't need you anymore because we can get resources.
And that's the whole reason why they don't want us to say FBA or Solon or who we are, because when everybody becomes who they are and go back to their homeland with the goods that they have taken from us, they can rebuild. Because if it wasn't for America, everybody wouldn't become. I mean, if it wasn't for the white West, nobody would be coming to America for anything. So this is why our identity and claiming our identity is important. Under this, our micronation needs to be important, because when the skeletons drop, there is nothing. If we don't know how to build together, we will have nothing. That's why it's important to, like, hey, it's no problem with you saying Dominican. It's no problem with you saying Jamaican. Y'all got your islands to go to, right? It's no problem with you saying Puerto Rican. It's no problem with you saying African. Y'all got y'all places to go to. But this is all we know. And we know it right now. When we go to Africa, we're not welcomed as my fellow African unless we're paying money. We're welcomed as a tourist, or we're welcomed as those are the people that were slaves.
Yeah. And I want to say this real quick for the FBA, and I've been in a lot of these rooms on TikTok. It's kind of the thing is, it seems like people doing more bashing than really getting organized. I'm just being real. Like I don't have nobody. It is too much bad.
Those are bots, because
it
like
gotta be, man. Because I ain't never
a lot
seen
of people I come across. They're doing organization. They're doing paperwork, and those are bots. That's what they.
And the crazy part, like the Africans that I've come across, the Afro Latinos that I've come across, they go, we want you guys to do this because we all need to be doing the same thing, so we can, because that's the only way we can unify, is if we all know who we are. Because you got people sitting in these, you got to think about it, you got people sitting in these Latin countries, they got the same situation we got. They've been separated from their original tribe because they were bought there, or they had to do with colonization and whatnot. And then when you think about the continent, what did Massa do? The European power structure went and sliced Africa up, and they forced different tribes under the flag of a country. They were not a country before. They were forced to be under the flag or whatever the country is. So you take like Nigeria, how many tribes does Nigeria have in it that before the white man made them into a country, they probably were not even thinking about being a country. They were just being their own tribe. Exactly. And they've done the same thing with us here. Is the problem here with us in this thing, like me, I don't care if you want to say FBA, ADOS, if you want to say Freeman, long as we know who you black on black, and we know what the movement is, we own code. I don't really care about that. You can be Pan-African, I don't really care. But we have to understand the ops, like I keep saying again and again, use military strategy. When you read NSM 46, and then you go look at what's going on online in these chat rooms and all this stuff, because it's like, even like I've said before, even with Tariq, you don't see Tariq saying a lot of the stuff that's going on in these chat rooms. You ain't never seen Tariq waving an American flag and talking about he's an American patriot, and all of a sudden America love us, and all this. You don't see that coming from Tariq. So that lets you know right there that co-opting is going on.
Good point.
It's a lot of people right now, you know, like when anything that happened, we just said, there's a lot of white faces behind a lot of these profiles saying stuff. And then we're arguing with profiles that we know are the same people, because at the end of the day, a lot of people don't want us to get what we get. And I mean, it is a lot of illegals and legals that don't want us to get what we get because they benefit. You know, we want to redirect funds to us.
And D-May is he can attest to this. We've seen it before. How many times were we in rooms like on fan base? We were having good dialogue. It wasn't nothing really going on. Then all of a sudden, it seems like someone came in to disrupt the room and get it on that diaspora war stuff, or to distract us from having fruitful conversation online.
Exactly. So we just have to move on, build our homeland, build what we get, keep our eyes open, because at the end of the day, all they want our black people for any of these wars is to die for white man causes. And
exactly. And Trump, Trump right now, Trump has sent 200 troops. Trump sent 200 troops into, I believe, Nigeria. They're not there to defend Christians. They're there to pick up the crumbs to go, okay, how can we get these resources that France no longer has access to? That's what they're there for. And the last thing that Trump wants is for people like us building a black homeland to go, you know what? We can connect with the black people over there that are on the revolutionary persuasion, and we could get those resources. I mean, this is why when you start thinking about the tariffs and a lot of the moves that are being made, while they got chocolate MAGA out front being cheerleaders, this and that, if you really know what's going on here, you know exactly why he's doing some of the things he's doing because of the BRICS alliance. So you know exactly why some of these moves are being made. I mean, I'm not saying that Trump's necessarily against us. I don't think he's done anything yet directly to go middle finger to a black American Negro or whatever, but he's definitely made moves to try to keep us micro divided here against ourselves and divided globally. Because as soon as he took over TikTok, as soon as his friend Elon, when everything started changing around and you started to see Meta bow down and whatnot because he didn't want to get taken to court, then you started to see that hyper division amongst us. It's like they do whatever they can, and like we've said before on this program, but when black immigrants come over here, they have to come into some system, and 9 times out of 10 they come over and go into the Democrat Party system. And when you go into the Democrat Party system, one of the major power holders in that structure is the Divine Nine structure, the Black Boule. And if you have ever been to our page, you've seen that video about how the Black Boule feels about the average black person. They really think they're white. They really think that they're in the club. They think that's why we call them the chocolate Greeks. They really believe they're Greek gods and goddesses. And to them, they have no heart. Like you just when you listen to Jasmine Crockett talk and you look at her background, have you ever heard her sound like she has a heart for the average black person?
Not the average, only more rich black.
Too. Yeah.
So when you come over, when you come over and you are Ilhan Omar or you one of these black immigrants, one of these black immigrant coons, when you come over, you're gonna go directly to the Jasmine Crockett's. You're not gonna go anywhere. You can go right to Jasmine Crockett.
You heard rumors saying she got Haitian. Y'all heard about she got some kind of Haitian and they say she has some Haitian.
She's basically part Haitian. That's what they said about Jasmine.
Yeah, I mean, besides her being thick, but yeah, that's beside the point. But I gotta throw that in now. Gotta throw that one in now. Come on, brothers. We ain't gonna say this on the man.
His toxic masculinity is gonna get us flagged.
Exactly.
But that's what people look at, and that's what she was banking on, a lot of her black antics to get black people, but you weren't talking black. You weren't sitting in Congress crying for black people. You were spewing, y'all racist, y'all did this. You don't want to see a black woman. She kind of focused on herself, but she didn't focus on black issues in black communities. She wasn't out in black communities helping black people. She was looking for.
The immigrants, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they turn their back on all them Cubans, all them Spanish people voted. They tell you most Cubans, especially Cubans, they vote Republican. They don't like socialism. They'll tell
Oh,
you
yeah, yeah. I mean, when you look, see, and people thought we were making this up. We've been saying this for decades. The Latino voting bloc, they play both sides of the fence, and 9 times out of 10, they vote their best interest. But at their core, they tend to vote conservative. And we've always said the problem with us is, well, I don't think we can really say that anymore because it looks like being the political chumps is really taking an effect on our morality. But generally, even when you look at the civil rights era, in actions and deeds, they were what? They would be what you call a conservative, even though they were a hardcore Democrat. Hardcore on the left with the Democrat Party. So it's like we've always voted against our own morality, voted against our own conscience, voted against our religious beliefs just to be in the Democrat Party. And I think when you get to now to when the Democrat Party is the party that has brought this influx of immigrants over here. They're the ones who open up the floodgates. But Biden himself will tell you, Biden literally, remember they had that leaked Zoom call of Biden where he told the last of the black civil rights leaders, look, you Negroes best get in line and get used to a brown middleman, a brown overseer, because basically he was saying we're replacing you guys. You are no longer the lead minority group that we're going to work with. And he basically told them to their faces, and that's what they've done.
Yes. So basically, they are at war as usual. America has always been at war.
Yep.
America is going to be 250 years old this 4th of July. America has fallen. Rome has fallen. It's just that we're looking at the skeletons. We're looking at the last of a dying breed, old white men in their old wars and their old mentality, and what's happening all over the world. Young or people in every different culture, every different country is basically tired because every country can function peacefully if everybody in their communities had what they need. Now, to try to push now, most of these countries, if you look at it, they're all fighting over a religion because, like I said, the Iranians look just like the Israelites, but the only difference is what they practice and what they wear.
Are they Sunni or Shia Muslim? I always get those mixed up.
I have no idea. It's a lot of them because I've seen so much going on, and then so I really just don't know because they basically, to me, they're fighting over a religion. They're having religious wars, and that's what it is. And America's got their hands up their butts because the wars that they fight it benefits them. It benefits them because they make money off of wars. We keep talking about the Rothschilds and all that. Well, how come every war that they're talking about, America is funding it? I think it was even with Minnesota when they was talking about the immigrants and the guns they were using, and somewhere else, Mexico. It was Mexico. The guns that they were using, those were American-made guns. Israel is using weapons made by Americans. Iran
That's crazy.
being funded from the U.S. was sending Iran billions at one point. Remember, Obama gave them money. So we hold them accountable after we fund both sides of the war. The Rothschilds is the Democrats and the Republicans. The people who are funding these wars around the world is now the American government in disguise. So
here's an interesting fact. I think I don't know if we've ever touched on this as a factor in all this and on this program before, but I came across some stats that were pretty crazy. And this one of them we know is that because of rainbowism, the American military has been below the red point on its soldier quota. So they've been below the red point. And we also know that Mighty Whitey in particular in America, his numbers are dramatically down because of a low birth rate. They're having more deaths than they are births, and that's directly attributed to their rainbowism and their abortion. But I found another interesting stat. When it comes to the rainbow male, from what I remember, Israel has the highest amount of rainbow men in the world.
Yes.
So when you so when
Look
you're
at
dealing
how
with the
they
people that
culture
are
is.
shorted like this, they're gonna when you're dealing with a tiger that has his back to the wall and they sees their numbers dropping, they're gonna be war hungry because they have to conquer and soak up more territory and goods and stuff to keep themselves
It's
afloat and
because
in
of their
charge.
religion. Look at their religion. Their religion, all you see is a bunch of men sitting together. They're undercover LBGT. This is why America, 1 minute y'all are God's children, the next minute you're pushing LBGT. And to think of all what America was pushing, that a man could be a woman and a woman could be a man, but you didn't see women taking it to the extreme that men were. You go over to those countries and all the men put the women in clothing where you don't see them, and they for some reason you can't even eye a woman, but the men walking around eyeing each other. They sit among each other, they eat among each other.
Hey, I didn't want to jump out, but yeah, you're right though. But yeah, I'll let y'all keep cooking. But yeah, you're right.
No, we finna get up out of here. We'll go up out of
We're
here.
gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that thing with Gabrielle Union said about black men. We gotta talk about that one.
You talking about who?
But Gabrielle Union talking about black men are weak. You know.
Yeah, she's talking about weak. I told Gabriel my video was, Gabriel, go to your feminine men in your household, your man and your daughter or your son, and you mind your business over there. Because black men
You
was
can
not
picture her on the
the
plantation
to vote for Democrats during that election. I don't blame any black man who did not vote for Kamala, because if we would have had Kamala, they think they would have saw something. It started with Obama allowing little boys and grown ass men in the bathroom with women.
She still got 80%
allowing
of the vote.
Children to cut off their pubic areas and all this other mess because they align with that mess over there in the Middle East. These are
that boy that steps on her he's like living as a full, I guess dressing as a full-on female now, right?
Yeah, every day he got to shave his beard and shave his mustache and tuck his balls and walk out the door with a dress on, talking about he a woman and she talking about black weak men. Girl, please.
All right, y'all.
We running around with lip gloss on, kissing you. Probably got lip gloss all in your pubic hairs.
God damn it.
Right,
we out of here, y'all. We gonna end it on that note, y'all. All right.
I land my plane.
All right, we out, y'all. Peace.
Do y'all want any last things before we get up out of here?
Okay. Yeah, I'll leave it at this. Looking at what we just got to talking about with the Gabrielle Union thing with the Y in it, that is why you see the African continent has rejected, even back during the Obama era, rejected this rainbow ideology from America. They knew what it was. That's why a lot of us here, except for the coons, have rejected it. And even though you see the smoke and mirrors, we know what's going on here. They just see the last thing they wanted us to do was to have a voice, but now you can't keep us quiet forever. So now when you start seeing the black solidarity, look, this look for us. You go, the black homeland, this thing is real. This ain't no scamming. This ain't no Frederick Douglass, Marcus, blah, 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 Academy and all that. This is the real deal. The land is there. The turf is there. We need your people. We're not talking about funding films, funding schools, funding shenanigans. We're not talking about sending people cash apps so they can go on YouTube and get views for tearing down another black person. None of that hoopla. This is the real deal, the real step. Because you think about it, if something happens and when this country takes a real tumble, where's your black behind gonna go? You ain't gonna be able to call Massa. You ain't gonna be able to call no Latino. You ain't gonna be able to call no Arab. You ain't gonna be able to call no Asian. You best to start thinking about the black homeland and let's start getting real about this thing.
That's it. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.